Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining Bill and I as we give you an overview of the North America business. What a crazy year it is so far. What we want to do is just give you a quick overview of what we're seeing out there in the business world, and then we'll jump into other priorities that we have, such as customer experience, partnership, and diversity and inclusion. From a U.S. standpoint, even though it's been a crazy year, we've been able to achieve plan in all three quarters. We just wrapped up Q3, and while revenue was down slightly, we still achieved plan. So all the growth from the work from home, little bit of data center softness, we've still been able to achieve plan. And I think that speaks volumes about both our associates and the trust our partners have in Ingram Micro, and we can't thank you enough for that.
Kirk, I am very excited to be sharing the stage with you again at this year's One event, albeit a virtual stage, but nonetheless, I get to work together with a good friend and colleague as we talk about our success and kind of where we're headed for the remainder of 2020 and into 2021. I too am excited to see how the business unfolded in Canada. We had started out the year with a very solid plan, and we were having some really good results in Q1. And then, as everybody knows, the world paused and took a break. We had to pivot and shift our entire workforce to work remote. And with all of that distraction, working together with our partners in Canada, we were able to deliver solid performance Q2 and Q3. And now with businesses starting to open back up, with the project-based, more data center-centric practices starting to wake up again, we're excited to see what Q4 is going to bring.
So as I mentioned, customer experience is a number one priority for us. One example of what we've done, we took a 20-year veteran, Tyler Coughlin, and promoted him to Vice President of Customer Experience. So you'll hear more as we talk about the things we're doing to differentiate the experience you have at Ingram Micro.
The best part of working together with Kirk Robinson is his willingness to collaborate and share best practices across borders. So leveraging the work that Tyler will be doing going forward, we too in Canada will be taking many of those best practices and bringing them into market, because we know every day we have to work to earn your business, and the overall customer experience is a key differentiator.
The other thing Bill and I are focused on, and that we know very well, is we have to have the right team. So we're going to share a picture of all the executives within the US and Canada, and I urge you to get to know them. I feel very confident that we have the right people in the right seat on the bus at Ingram Micro, and we're very excited about the opportunity we have in front of us, even in these crazy conditions.
Kirk, I couldn't agree more. I am so excited when I get to go to work every single day with a group of leaders that I have the privilege of working with. And in Canada, we have seen some change, but in my mind, you've seen the addition of skill sets and experience into our business. We have structured our three core pillar areas with the top leaders in Canada. When I look at my operations capabilities and I look at Jason Quibel, if I go to the vendor management team and I look at Anthony Krim, and now with the newest addition of Bill Steed leading sales, I believe that we are now positioned to approach this market in a new and exciting way.
You're going to continue to see us make investments in the key areas of our business. One example is advanced solutions. We're going to continue to make sure we have the right vendors on our line cards, the right services to help you answer your customers' needs. In our Business and Consumer Solutions group, Craig Birmingham continues to grow that business above expectations. They have one motto in that team: sell something. And I can assure you they are living that motto. Another area that we have investments and focus on is cloud. We are living in a changing world with the consumption model changing right in front of us. We have invested heavily over the years in our cloud business and continue to build out the right solutions for you and your partners. When I talked about customer experience, another area we've invested in is our CRM platform. We're getting to know you better, We want to know every aspect of your business so we can have more intelligent conversations with you around the solutions you need to bring to your customer.
Kirk, I couldn't agree more. Many of you have heard both of Kirk and I talk about the investments we're making in the areas that are key to all of our success. This year was no exception. We doubled down on security, we doubled down on network and storage, and we doubled down on cloud in Canada. It's exciting to watch this transformation happen. As looking at the business, we have over 1,045 customers of our 5,000 partners we work with every day making this digital transformation journey. And our investments in those key areas around cloud and how we're helping partners shift the business from traditional buy sell to a consumption model is truly been exciting, but an area that we need to continue to focus on. And again, an area where customer experience is going to be a key differentiator.
Another key area for us that has driven growth is financing. I would ask that you take the time to watch Anthony Mackel's presentation on our financial solutions. One of the first things we did when the COVID hit was we expanded net terms for both of our communities, both TrustX and SMB Alliance. We came up with new financial solutions to help you meet your customer needs. I posted a story on LinkedIn the other day. Phil Ferranti, one of our customers, the greatest story I could hear because all he talked about was having no fear in the size of the opportunities that were coming his way because he had a nearly $50 billion company behind him, backing him with different financial solutions for all those opportunities. Another key note is partners who used our financial services grew by 11% on average in a time when most businesses declined. So please, if you have opportunities, engage our financial team. I guarantee you we can help.
Kirk, I want to double click on that finance conversation and tie it into the partnership piece. At the early days of this COVID outbreak, when the world stopped and businesses shut down, Ingram Micro took the aggressive stand to be there with our partners and provide flexibility when it came to payments, when others were looking to collect as quickly as they could. We also ensured that our operational capabilities were extended hours so we could get those critical products to those frontline and those emergency service companies when they needed it. You know, I have to say, partnership is key, and partners really show up when times are tough. It's easy to be a partner when things are going well, but when everything changes and things are difficult, real partners step to the plate. And I believe Ingram Micro did that. With the evolution of our financial solutions offering, specifically around our Direct Express program, we saw a specific win in that space. One of our partners, Third Oct Tech, had an increased demand as they approached the work from home struggles everyone was dealing with. And their credit lines quickly filled up with products that they were trying to purchase to support their partners. Our financial services, specifically Direct Express, led to them being able to not only survive, but thrive in this very difficult time. So again, partnership is key all the time, but it really shows up when times are tough.
I couldn't agree more, Bill. And I'm sure that you're just as proud of your team as we are of ours. The ability to transition all of our employees into a work from home situation, deploying laptops and all the other things, cameras, ports, it was some heavy lifting, and I'm very proud of how our team handled that. And we had two priorities when this thing started. The first priority was the safety and health of our employees. The second priority was calling out to our customers to make sure we were helping wherever we could. And I want to give a special shout out to our warehouse workers who never wavered. They kept our warehouses open throughout the entire time, making sure that we could deliver the products and solutions to you for your customers.
That is well said, Mr. Robinson, and I could not agree more. Our ALC team is always behind the scenes and not often the highlight when we're having these events. But I have to tell you, they're the heartbeat of our organization. And it became super evident when our entire office was able to go back and work remote, yet all of our ALCs, those individuals needed to keep coming to work every single day, no matter what they were hearing on the news, no matter what was going on in their local communities. And my hat's off to that team because they showed up, they were flawless in their execution, and they helped support all of our communities when they needed us most. We ended up, as I said earlier, we ended up actually extending our hours. So think about that. Not only did they have to come to work on a regular day, but they had to come to work in an extended shift so that we could truly support our partners as they were getting those emergency services up and running in this new environment that we were operating in. So I agree with you, Kirk. That team gets very little accolades, but I have to tell you right now, my hat's off to them. And I know we've done a lot to show them our support and our thanks for everything that they did.
That's right, Bill. Another area that both of us are focused on is diversity and inclusion. We have a lot of turmoil in the US right now, and this is a priority for us. And we have done a lot of listening sessions with our employees to make sure we're giving them the platform to tell their stories and, more importantly, to listen. And one of the most important statements I heard in one of these meetings was, listen to understand, not to reply. So you're going to see us do more. In the US, we built out a diversity and inclusion council that works directly with the US exec team. And I'm very proud of the steps that we've begun to take, but this is a journey, and we're all very excited about working with our council and making sure Ingram Micro is the most diverse and inclusive company that it can be.
Kirk, I couldn't agree more. And I have to say, I'm super proud to be working at Ingram Micro for 23 years. And I know that we've always had diversity and inclusion as part of who we are. But I will say that those issues were not solely in the US. As we found in Canada, having our own sessions, we found that many of these same challenges happen around the world where there's discrimination or there's exclusion for many different reasons. So I think while there were some very big examples on the US side, having the conversations locally in Canada opened our eyes to some of the challenges of our own associates when we had some of our sessions. And I have to say, they were so impactful that not only did we have just one session, it created a series of sessions. And I truly believe it is going to be part of who we are as an organization going forward as we continue to learn from each other, listen to each other, as you said, without trying to give an answer, and really hear some of the challenges and where we have opportunities to do things differently. So I'm excited about what this year is going to bring in this specific area, as I know we've already had this as one of our core pillars, but I truly believe today we're more invested than ever before.
Well, Bill, it's always a pleasure to share a stage with you or a screen, and I can't thank you enough for the friendship and the partnership that we have going on between the US and Canada. For our partners, our ask is we want to hear from you. Don't ever say no to a customer without coming to Ingram first and asking if we can help. Your business is our top priority, and we'll continue to focus on that for the rest of the year and beyond.
Thank you, Kirk. And again, I've had a lot of fun with this time talking about our success, talking about partnership, and I did promise more examples of partnerships. So I would be remiss if I didn't bring up my good friend Sylvan over at Microserve and the opportunity that he had to work with partners not only in Canada, but also in the US in order to roll out a 65 location server refresh that spanned across our borders. And I'm happy to say that leveraging his fellow partners at Ingram Micro, their competencies, and their geographical footprint, he was able to win that opportunity and not only survive during this pandemic, but he's been thriving as a result. So again, partnership is key. Leveraging individuals that you never thought you would possibly work with in the past is going to be a mindset we all have to wrap our heads around if we're going to be successful going forward.
Well, thank you, everybody, for spending time with Bill and I. We hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations in our One event, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the year. And as always, thank you for your partnership and your business.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.